is your first and last name?
My name's Mike Smith.
Okay. All right, I think I know how to spell that. And what is your official title for this interview's purpose?
My official title? I'm part of the Occupy PDX Video Collective. I'm a video producer, and I'm part of a subgroup of media here in Occupy Portland. And I'm speaking for myself as an autonomous individual, and I'm not speaking on behalf of the group at large.
So tell me a little bit about then your personal reaction to the fact that the commissioners, they think the way things are going here at the camp, that enough's enough and that the mayor needs to step in and make sure that you guys...
I understand the frustrations of our elected officials. The people that actually run Occupy Portland, and what I mean by that is the committees and the tertiary people that are involved. I would say, honestly, there's maybe 100 hardcore activists here, and the rest are people that are here that they peripherally understand the message, but they need to be educated, just like the mainstream media needs to be educated, that there's a few core themes or messages that we want to get out to the rest of the world. And we as a group, and what I mean by as a group is just my friends that are in this movement, not the group at large. But we're frustrated at the fact that, well, the city is not providing services to the homeless. I've interviewed at least 10 groups, I don't mean 10 individuals, but 10 groups of people, like little pods of campsites, of people that have been sent here by other social service organizations. Oh, there's no beds here, so go to Occupy Portland. They have medical, they have security, they have free food for you. Unfortunately, Occupy Portland is ran by mostly naive, well-meaning college students that are awesome. I love you people. It's ran by crazy conspiracy theorists like myself and anarchists and average Joes. We're a hodgepodge of a lot of different people, but we are not equipped to handle hundreds of mentally ill homeless people. And I think it frustrates me as an individual to have all this foisted upon me. I'm an activist. I want to change the world. I understand that the banks are screwing everyone across the board, black, white, green, rich, poor. Unless you are a multi-billionaire, you are not in our crosshairs. We love our middle class people. We love our blue-collar workers. We are here for you. We are here protesting the theft of police and firemen's pension funds countrywide. But it's hard for us to carry along the burden of all these disenfranchised people that are on the fringes of our society. So we feel the same frustration that you do, speaking from the perspective of a few of my friends that are here, not the group at large.
So then, you think the message has kind of gotten away from what you guys first set out to do?
Well, I've watched the mainstream narrative and what you guys are constructing, and not to any fault of your own, but just through, you guys are part of a paradigm that has to be perpetuated because it's all you know. I've watched us go from the darling of the mainstream media to our messages being sullied, and it's happened incrementally over time. And honestly, we are trying to police ourselves, but we have a double-edged sword here. We feel as if though Mayor Adams likes us, and we feel as if though the mainstream media and the police have went from being on our side to not necessarily knowing what to do with us. I mean, the police are being ordered off of us, and what that does is it gives us the space to camp here and try to set up infrastructure and try to create a cogent message for the mainstream to consume, because we do have goals. There's just not enough of us to organize to actually get that message more consistently presented.
But you said that you were frustrated.
I am frustrated.
What's your biggest frustration right now if you guys get kicked out?
Well, that's kind of a weird... Okay, if I get kicked out, I'm going to be here the very next day. The Justice Center's kind of full, so when they arrested people out of Terry Strunk Park, okay, people were back within an hour. So I will be back. You know, it's kind of ridiculous if they want to bust this place. It's kind of an exercise in futility. There is
and
a waste of taxpayer money. I would like if the city or the police would actually come and liaise with our safety team and actually coordinate with us. I would like personally, from a personal perspective, I would love it to have a sit down with the police and ask them to help us. Because I've seen, I've asked, I've walked up to a group of 10 cops, and there's, you know, and I've said, you know, hey, there's 25 meth addicts behind me. Could you go and arrest them? No, we can't. And I try to ask them why they can't, and they have no answer for me. But I suspect that City Hall is telling them to lay off us. Now, it's a double-edged sword because these disenfranchised, homeless, drug addicts, some of them feel as if though they have a safe haven. Now, I would like that to change myself. But what can I do? I'm one person. I'm one guy.
Anything else that you want to add that I didn't ask you? Do you feel like your message has got across?
Yeah, as someone who documents and who videos people, I mean, how important is it for, you know, the public to see what you do and not just what we do? To see what's really going on.
What's really going on, if you want to get a look at the true face of Occupy Portland, about the passionate, loving, awesome people that actually live here, that are trying to stand up for the First Amendment rights of people that can't afford to come away from their job and camp out down here, go to OccupyPDX.org. Go to the Occupy Portland Video Collective website or YouTube channel and look at what we are actually as activists trying to show you guys. We're trying to show you something awesome. We're trying to show you an alternative to what's been in the mainstream. We want to show you guys something new. But it takes a while. You can't just, you know, start a whole new version of society in a month. Unfortunately, we have all these old problems that still aren't being dealt with. And honestly, it is of my humble opinion that the city of Portland has not been doing enough to help the homeless and disenfranchised. That's why the burden has been shifted onto us. We do not have the infrastructure to handle these people. I would love it if social service organizations would come down here, set up tents that are just operated in the daytime, and actually start interfacing with these people. I'd love to see R2D2, I'd love to see Sisters of the Road, or I'd love to see any of these groups come down here and maybe interface with Occupy Portland and help us get these people some help, because they need help ultimately.
That's very well put. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go.